Archer Quinn wasn't born into privilege. He built himself from scraps. Lincoln Academy was his ticket out, Chicago's elite incubator of power. But brilliance alone couldn't erase poverty's stench. His solution? Seduce Celeste Vanderburg, daughter of a hedge fund titan, marry her, and secure a future where hunger was history. Celeste was beauty sculpted from light, untouchable, distant, almost unreal. Archer watched her from afar, studying her routines like blueprints. Every move was calculated. Shared classes, hallway glances, a borrowed pen, rehearsed vulnerability. She was the final piece in his meticulously engineered escape. But when Celeste finally noticed him, it wasn't with naive curiosity. Her eyes held secrets, and her smile felt like a challenge. Archer thought he was the hunter. He didn't know yet. Celeste had been watching him too, and her game was far deadlier than love. Celeste invited Archer to the Vanderburg estate, a marble palace built on secrets. Over champagne and soft piano, she revealed her truth. She was dying, a rare heart condition ignored by her father, ticking toward inevitability. But death wasn't her surrender. It was liberation. She wanted to disappear, taking $50 million from her father's hidden accounts. Archer's brilliance could make it possible. In return, he'd receive half, and her affection. He thought it was manipulation, a test, yet her trembling hands and soft confession pierced through his armor. Archer agreed, though not out of love. At least, that's what he told himself. That night, he couldn't sleep. A plan for money had become a pact with mortality. Celeste wasn't just a mark anymore. She was a mystery he couldn't solve, and maybe didn't want to. Together, they designed perfection. Archer mapped the embezzlement routes, encrypted accounts, and backdoor transactions. Celeste provided access, her father's codes, private ledgers, and a prom night distraction. Their partnership thrummed with dangerous chemistry. In libraries and hidden corners, they whispered over stolen laptops, hearts racing for different reasons. Celeste sketched dreams of freedom, sunlit beaches, no last names. Archer imagined escape from hunger, finally belonging somewhere. Still, doubts gnawed. Why trust him? Why now? But every time Celeste clutched her chest mid-laughter, the urgency returned. Time was a fuse, burning fast. By April, the blueprint was complete. Prom night would be their exodus. While the ballroom glittered, bank servers would bleed. Archer's code would erase their footprints. Celeste would vanish. But beneath the thrill, something shifted. He was falling, not for her plan, but for her. Spring blurred into tension. Archer noticed inconsistencies. Celeste's medication bottles always full. Hospital visits never scheduled. Her condition seemed theatrical, rehearsed. Yet when he questioned, she'd go pale, whispering, "You don't believe me." Shame silenced him. Love demanded trust, or maybe blindness. Meanwhile, whispers spread about Archer's sudden closeness to Lincoln's golden girl. Jealous classmates, suspicious teachers, and one anonymous message, "You're not the first." Archer buried doubts under code and kisses. Each stolen glance felt like confession, each touch a promise he didn't fully understand. Still, Celeste's urgency grew. "We leave prom night. No second chances." Her voice trembled between fear and excitement. Archer told himself this was destiny, his final shot. But in quiet moments, when she looked at him like a question, he wondered if the real con was love itself. The ballroom shimmered with chandeliers and champagne. Beneath tuxedos and sequins, Archer wore secrets like armor. In his pocket, a burner phone hummed, the signal that triggered the digital heist. Celeste danced like a ghost, fragile yet fierce. At midnight, while laughter echoed, Archer slipped into the server room, executing his masterpiece. $50 million vanished into offshore havens. Returning to the dance floor, he found Celeste waiting by the exit, dress glinting like starlight. They fled into the night, a stolen future pulsing between them. On the highway south, adrenaline blurred fear. Archer reached for her hand. She squeezed back, whispering, "We did it." But beneath her smile lingered sorrow. She glanced at the horizon as if racing death itself. Archer felt victorious and terrified, because somewhere deep down he knew this was no fairy tale ending. This was only the beginning. They reached Miami before dawn, renting a hotel suite overlooking endless blue. Bags of cash lined the floor, shimmering like temptation. For the first time, silence replaced strategy. They swam, laughed, dreamed aloud, two fugitives painting illusions. Celeste sketched plans for escape to Europe. Archer imagined anonymity, freedom, her hand in his. But cracks widened. Celeste grew pale, her breath ragged. One night she collapsed, clutching her chest, eyes pleading. Archer froze between choices: call for help and face prison, or honor her wish. No hospitals, no chains. Tears blurred the room. He whispered, "I love you," as her pulse faltered. For the first time, his plan meant nothing. Without her, the money was ashes. He reached for his phone, trembling, then stopped. The sirens would end everything. In the dim light, Archer chose silence, cradling her as the ocean murmured goodbye. Morning brought emptiness. Celeste was gone. Archer sat beside cold sheets, grief and guilt consuming him. Before he could move, the door burst open. Federal agents swarmed in. Hands cuffed him. Questions screamed. Among them stood Celeste, alive, eyes unreadable. It had all been a test. Her father orchestrated everything, a psychological crucible to expose true intent. Celeste wasn't dying. The money wasn't real. Archer had passed. But he didn't feel redeemed. Betrayal cut deeper than prison bars. Celeste reached for him, whispering, "I needed to know." He turned away, eyes burning. Love built on lies was poison. As agents dragged him out, Archer realized he'd lost everything. Not just freedom, but trust, belief, himself. And yet, somewhere beneath the ache, he still loved her. That truth hurt worst of all. Archer faced interrogation, accusations, shattered dreams. But Celeste intervened, revealing her father's deception. Charges were dropped. Technically, no crime occurred. Freedom tasted hollow. Lincoln expelled him. Scholarships vanished. The city felt colder, every street a reminder. Celeste visited, eyes rimmed with regret. "I thought you wanted the money more than me." Archer's silence answered louder than words. He'd wanted both, but now neither mattered. Love without trust was just another con. Her father offered restitution, new opportunities. Archer refused. He walked away from fortune, from the girl who'd tested his soul. At the South Side station, wind biting, he stared at the skyline. He wasn't the same boy who schemed for escape. He'd learned the cost of ambition and the fragility of hearts. Months passed. Archer rebuilt quietly, tutoring, coding, living small but honest. Scars lingered, yet so did clarity. Celeste sent letters, apologies inked with longing. He never replied, though each word carved through him. One evening, she appeared at his doorstep. No makeup, no pretense. "I left my father's world," she said. "I want to start over, with truth." Archer hesitated. Love still burned, but trust was fragile glass. "You broke me," he whispered. "I broke myself," she answered. In the dim light, they spoke for hours, not of money, but pain, forgiveness, and what love means when stripped bare. When dawn came, Archer didn't promise forever, but he offered coffee, and maybe, someday, another chance. It wasn't a fairy tale, it was real, and that was enough. A year later, Archer taught at a community center, mentoring kids like himself, dreamers from broken streets. Celeste volunteered beside him. Laughter softer now, eyes unguarded. They weren't rich, but they were free. Sometimes they'd pass a billboard for Vanderburg Capital and exchange quiet smiles, a reminder of the empire they'd escaped. Archer understood now. His last shot hadn't been at fortune, but redemption. Celeste's hand fit perfectly in his, no secrets left between them. Love, once a weapon, had become a choice, one they made daily, scarred but sincere. As sunset painted the city gold, Archer whispered, "This is enough." Celeste smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. For the first time, their future wasn't stolen, it was earned.